Hey everybody, so today I'm gonna do another flower dip. I'm kind of addicted to these because there's definitely a surprise element that occurs when you pull off the canvas. And that sounds so silly to be addicted to something like that, but it's really exciting just how when I first started pour painting, there was a surprise element in it, and I just thought, you just never really knew how things were going to turn out, and now that I'm more accustomed to pour painting, I have an idea of how things are going to turn out. So this kind of gives me that renewed excitement that I used to get when I first started painting like that. I'm using these Arteza canvas panels 8x8, and I'm not a fan of canvas panels generally, but for these flower dips, they work pretty good, and they're very inexpensive. I think you get a pack of like 14 or 12 or something, and they're less than $1 a piece, and so it's a really great deal. And the reason I don't like canvas panels normally for fluid acrylic painting, for flow acrylic painting like pour painting, is because they tend to warp with all the moisture. But these have so little paint on them. You can see the layer that I'm putting on the panel is very, very thin. The layer that I put on the plastic is very, very thin, and I don't use hardly any colors. And these flower dips are a great way to not use very much paint either. It does seem to use a lot of white or black or whatever the base color is, but no more than regular pour painting. And honestly, the colors you use a lot less. I just wanted to show you, I secured a trash bag over the top of this tin that I use. It's basically an aluminum palette that I've been using for 20 years to mix paints on, and so I just turn that over and then use Scotch tape to secure the plastic part, and it's just a trash bag that's been doubled up and cut into a square slightly larger than the panel that I'm going to need. And then I use titanium white today. You can see it's not perfect. There are definitely little lines and stuff in the bag, but I haven't found that deeply affects the outcome. I continue to test Arteza paints, and today is no different. I do have to say the quality is fantastic. I'm partial to the Golden's Gold still. That has not changed, but I am definitely enjoying the Arteza paints and the way that they dry. This was a dark, deep purple that I made. One thing, if I haven't mentioned, for success, and this is what I noticed, the consistency is everything, really. If you don't get that consistency right, they don't turn out. And so if it's too thick, it doesn't flow off the popsicle stick, and you kind of want it to flow, but if it's too thin, it just turns into water when you lift up the canvas. Like, the whole painting just turns into a big pile of loose, watery looking paints, and they all mix together and everything, and they don't retain the shape that you give it. So this is a lighter purple that I did, and what's really fascinating about these flower dips is it almost, I put the same shape over and over and over, and it makes a different flower every single time. And that to me is just totally amazing. This is a magenta, a quinacridone magenta, and I really liked this color with the purple. Very pretty. And so I'm just going to continue to layer these. That was a red, like a crimson red, and a cadmium red, actually, I think is what that one was. And one thing I wanted to say is that this is a red orange. These are some of the colors I did originally with the Fiona flower dip, and I was repeating that color scheme because it's just so pretty. And one thing I wanted to say is I see people using squeeze bottles for this, and I definitely understand why it would be helpful. The problem with drizzling with the popsicle stick is, see how I'm picking up the stick and letting it set it in the cup first? That's so the big blob drops into the cup, and then I get like the tiny little lines. All of those little lines with spaces in between is what causes that beautiful effect of layering. So then that's how you get the layers of colors there. And if it's just one big blob, it just doesn't, you just don't get that beautiful effect. So I go back and I add a little bit of the magenta to the outside just to add some complexity to the flower. And then of course I wanted to use some of the golden gold deep, and that's just, I keep that in a squeeze bottle because I use it so much that when I get a bottle of the golden fluid acrylics, I literally just mix it with a little bit of Floetrol and put it directly in the squeeze bottle. I use it so much. Now you can see I'm lightly applying paint to the canvas panel just before dipping. Summer has somewhat arrived here, so I noticed that when I put it on too far ahead, it's starting to dry before I can even get the colors down and dip the canvas. So I've been doing it lately the past couple days just right before I dip, and that seems to help. The layer is so light, by the way. You're just really trying to get the canvas almost damp with paint is the best way I could describe it. And then lift slowly, trying to release the outsides first. You want the center of the canvas to be the last thing released from the plastic, is that's what creates that flower effect. Is, every flower has a center, and so that's what creates the center of the flower. So you have to pull very gently and very slowly until you feel the plastic release, and then as soon as it releases, see, it's very easy to lift up. Oh, I love this one. I thought it turned out so pretty, and I just was really impressed with the way it looked. They also kind of develop, so if you don't like it at first, but let's put it this way, if you're not in love at first, but you do like it, give it a few minutes. It's really surprising how all the cells come out and everything afterwards. So yeah, I really, really loved this one, even though I didn't put any of the green leaves on it like I have some of my other paintings. So what I've noticed, and I'm going to do another little one while I'm chatting here, you can dip these twice, and after the second time you just lose a lot of definition and it starts to just look like a blob. I think partially because you have too much paint on there, and also just because the first layer of colors have all mixed together, so then you're sitting there with a whole layer of mixed colors instead of colors on top of that fresh, clean white paint. Here I really show what a thin layer of white I put on that canvas panel. I mean, it's just basically to wet the canvas down. That helps with the adhering to the plastic. So basically I'm just trying to create that suction that every piece of the canvas, every little inch of the canvas connects with what's below it. So that way, you won't get those big patches of dry canvas, because it is hard to cover up a patch of dry canvas in the center of a flower. You almost have to re-dip it or scrape it off or start over. Although I am developing a few techniques to fix things, because you know me, I never just keep it as it is. See, this one is really pretty. It's just not as special to me as the first one for whatever reason. It is very vibrant. Be careful when you're torching the plastic wrap. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm watching this thinking, oh my gosh, Heather, why are you doing that? But the first time it made sense because I was re-dipping, so I wanted to pop those bubbles, but this time I have no idea. I guess habit. Anyway, I wanted to take a second here and say thank you for watching my channel. I have noticed that my viewership has gone down, and I hope it's not anything that I've done and just people spending more time outside. But I do want to continue making these art videos for you, and I do want to thank Arteza again for sending me all of these amazing paints and colors, and I will continue testing Arteza products, so stay tuned for that. Also hit the like, comment, and subscribe button, and that'll help you know when I get a new video out. Lastly, thank you to all my supporters. I do appreciate all of the donations that I've received to help keep my channel going, and it makes it all worth it when I read your amazing comments and see how many people have enjoyed my art. And there's those beautiful flowers. Yeah, that one I did dry a little tiny bit darker, but I really, really, really love this one. So, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so I can make more art videos for you.